Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And this may seem a little bit different, but had to. Why is it still tilted? Um, so right. Angels in the Outfield is what we're talking about. Uh, this is my tripod. It's brokey, which is why it took a while for me to figure out, what to do, and so I set this up because I need to record this and get it uploaded because I want to get some stuff done. So, Angels in the Outfield came out in 1994, starred Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Danny Glover, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Matthew McConaughey, Adrian Brody, Taylor Negron, and Neil McDonough. Yes. And Tim Conlon, who has a small role as the color commentator for the Angels Baseball League. And you don't know who's Tim Conlon. He was the idiot main character, the horny idiot main character of Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss. Yeah, him. He's in this. But he's honestly one of the better characters, I think. But who am I to know? The story here is that this kid named Roger, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's young at this time, of course, he lives in a foster home, but he wants to be a family again with his dad, who is not really a deadbeat, I would say. He knows that he can't take care of his son, so he at least understands that. So it's not like a whole, he's a deadbeat, what's nothing to do with him. It's not that. I think more so he knows there's nothing he can do for him. And, he's pretty much given up. And, the Angels are Roger's favorite baseball team, and they suck. They're terrible. They're always losing their games. And, so when Roger asks, when can we be a family again? He gets the response that adults would look at, and hear one thing. Kid with that kind of big-eyed, open-minded world that a kid has would think another thing. Where he says, the way things are going, when the Angels win the pennant, which to an adult means never. It's never going to happen. But to a kid, he thinks, if the Angels win, I can have my dad back. That sort of thing. It's that sense of hope that kids have. You know what I mean? So there's that. But it still feels tilted, this thing. I need to do things so it's not tilted. That's a problem I have. But so he prays to the angels to help the angels up in the sky to help the Angels baseball team. And Angels soon show up to help, led by Al, played by Christopher Lloyd, who is just fun in this movie, but he doesn't get much, and he, the first angel that comes to help besides Al is an angel that helps Matthew McConaughey's character, I think it is, catch a ball in the outfield. And they say there's angels in the outfield, and there's your trailer line. You know what I mean? Tagline, whatever you want to call it. So and there's one character I hate. It's Ranch Wilder. He's the lead commentator for the Angels baseball team, and even when they start winning, he gets more and more as they start winning. He gets more and more pissed off because he feels like they shouldn't win. It reminds me of in Zombies, right? The cheerleaders are supposed to cheer for the football team, right? But Bucky, the lead cheerleader guy, cheer captain, right? Just gets madder and madder as as the movie goes on, as the football team starts to win, and they're supposed to be there to cheer the team so they win, but now he only cares about the cheer part and not who they're cheering for. So this is kind of that way, but Ranch is more of a despicable character where he's sort of the villain of the movie, or an antagonist, I would say. He's an antagonist for the film without being an outright villain. Oh no, it's very weird in all retrospect. That they needed to have some sort of antagonist, so he's it, but he doesn't do enough. Like, he eventually finds out from JP, Roger's friend and roommate, I guess you call it too, at the foster home, that the angels, Al says you can't tell anyone about the angels. You know, you already told the George Knox, Danny Glover's character, already told the coach. You already told the coach, and JP knows, but no one else can know. This results in a goofy, sort of goofy running joke where they have to keep telling Taylor Negron's character stupid things to get him to go away. Oh, go buy them Angels jackets. Go get the more nachos. Go do this. Go do that. I need to pee. That sort of thing. Just so they can get out and he can tell about the Angels and where they are, which player they're on, that sort of thing. And it works. I like inspirational sports movies. I'm not a sports fan per se. I have teams, respectively, that I cheer on, but I don't sit there and watch. Super Bowl is probably the only farthest I get from actually watching sports. I went to a baseball game one time, and the only thing I did was sit there and go through my baseball cards that I got. Because I'm not really a sports fan, per se. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So, yeah. There's also a running joke where every time that Tim Conlon's character tries to talk, Ranch shuts him down and is like, less is more, which comes back around on Ranch at the end. But, as you can see, the team starts winning. They start winning their games. Yay, Angels. And, and they get further and further into the season. It even brings back an old pitcher named Mel Clark, played by Tony Danza. And they sort of hint at what that fate's supposed to be. He's shown smoking, which in a Disney movie nowadays you'd never see. But towards the end of the film, they get to the championship game for the pennant, right? And they're waiting for the Angels to show up. Alice shows up and says he's not there. The Angels can't help in a championship game. So they're on their own. And they've been doing pretty good for themselves. Decent. I think the game is tied at this point. He is there for Mel, who will die in 6 months. And it's like, well, you think if he was going to die in 6 months, his health would be worse than it is. And then he starts coughing here and there. You think perhaps there'd be more signs than that. If he had only 6 months left to live, and he says that Mel knows nothing about it, no, I think you would know. Your body would be telling you something's wrong. 6 months? Come on. That doesn't seem viable to me, but I see where they were going with it. Like, he's going to be the new Angel, which, if Mel had been the one to show up in the sequel, which it's Christopher Lloyd again, but I'm just saying, would have made sense. There's Angels in the End Zone, which was a direct-to-TV, made-for-TV film with football, Matthew Lawrence and Simon from Seventh Heaven. Then there was Angels in the Infield, which was just a lazy way to get there. And then back in the 90s, there was a movie that they played on Disney Channel all the time called Angels in the Attic, which I always thought was another one of those, but it wasn't. It was something different. I don't really remember it, to be honest, but yeah. But the story kind of comes to a head with so when they first lived there, when they first start, they show them that they're living with. There's Roger, JP, and this uh, other kid named Miguel, who is like sort of picks on JP. And then when they come back from the game, they go, "We got stuff from Miguel. Where'd he go?" And then and Maggie, played by Brenda Fricker, you may know from uh, Home Alone 2 or um, So I Married an Axe Murderer. She was the mom in that. She tells them that he got placed in a home, which is good for him, but for them, they're a little sad. And JP says, "Oh, Miss Miguel, all he did was pick on you. And you're, okay, sure. I guess. Fine. But really? Huh? I don't know. It's very confusing to me. But I do. But yeah. So, no, I'm smaller. Hold on. I thought maybe my chair could go higher. Nope. Same height. Anyway, so there's this story that you can get placed whenever. And so Roger has a court date and can't go to the baseball game. So JP goes. And they don't win the game, but I don't think it's by that much that they lose. But, yeah. And this is just, and it really, they say they were sitting there for 3 hours. And really, there isn't really a reason for him to be there, because they show that the dad's there, and he's given up his rights so that Roger can be adopted by a family that's going to be able to take care of him. And then he can go on and leave and have his own life, which, yes, is deadbeat dad now, but I still defend him, sort of, as he just wants his son to have a better life. And he knows he cannot give that to him. So there's that. And I thought, okay, this is when he's going to give up, and he's done, and he does. He says angels don't exist, all that stuff. But then this is when JPS spilled his guts to spill the beans, so to speak, to Ranch, who for some reason broadcast this. Again, he's supposed to be an antagonist, but it's just, why is he blabbing this? Like, you think a kid says, "Oh, angels help." You just, especially for a guy like this, these kids are crazy. But he blabs this, and then the owner of the team is like, "You need to fix this, George. I'm taking you off the team. You're going to go out there in a press conference, and you're going to tell them angels don't exist." But he doesn't really do that. There's, Maggie stands up and says, when, nobody bats an eye when a football player takes a knee to pray, or the pitcher crosses himself coming out to the mound. Nobody bats an eye at that. So if God can exist, why can't angels? And then the baseball, this is one of the moments where, it pulls at your heartstrings. Mel Clark stands up and says, "I don't know if there's angels. What I do know is I won't play for anyone but George Knox." And all the other players stand up. So do JP and Roger. I don't know about that, but, So like the championship game, and I should mention that there's a call sign and there's a special thing that Roger does to show George Knox that the angels are there. He stands up and he does this. And so that's what he does throughout the film, to show George Knox the signal, that's what it is, that the angels are there. So there's that, and then so that leads to this. When Mel is pitching, and he's not doing very good, and people are getting hits, and I think they're all tied up at this point, or they're close. The Angels could win the game if they get another out. That's all I know. But bases are loaded, things are coming down, and they're about ready to pull Mel from the pitching position. But Roger talks to Knox and says he just needs to believe. So Knox comes up with the idea to go tell Mel that there's an angel with him, even though Angel's not allowed to play the game. He doesn't know that. There's an angel with you. It's right there. He's going to help you. And he pitches, but it's a foul, I think, or it's caught. He catches it. He goes up, and he catches it. He does this thing where it bounces off the glove. Is he going to do it? And he takes, which I don't know if you could actually take both your hands and do it like that. I think you have to only do it. I don't think that's legal for him to go like that and catch it. Because it's like this, then this is the ball. The duct tape bounces up, and he goes. Just put it down. I don't know if that's legal, but it's a movie, so I'm not questioning it. Yeah. So the angels went, and he goes, there was angels. And Knox is like, not this time. You did it yourself. And you see a smile on his face. He's proud. It's probably Mel's last game, especially with 6 months to live. But again, his health would be a lot worse if he only had 6 months left to live. I mean, come on. And he doesn't show any signs until after they say, hey, after Al tells Roger he's only got 6 months left to live, and we're taking him. I don't know. But then we go back to the house, and Roger finds out he's been placed, which upsets JP. It's revealed that Knox is the one who wanted to adopt him, which wouldn't work. I think Boy Meets World was very realistic with this. Eric wanted to adopt this kid named Tommy, and didn't because they didn't think he was right, because he wasn't married, he was single, he was a college student. I guess Knox is older, but still, mostly when they want to place you, it has to be, you have to have a family, or you have to have a wife at least. I don't know, but yeah, so he, is going to adopt him, but Roger's like, I'm not going anywhere without JP. And he's like, of course not. I'm taking JP too. And then there's the thing with, what about Maggie? I'll remain here if any other kids need my help. And I don't think that continues in the next one, but it would be something if she's like a recurring character. No, he showed up, walked in the background, hello. I don't know. But this movie is great. It's pretty good. It ends with, one thing I will criticize is the CGI. It's 1994 CGI. The angels are CGI. And there are moments where they go through the real people, do real effects. It reminds me, it's kind of like, thinking about the same year too, Casper. The Casper effects when they go through people. It kind of reminds me of that. But it's still pretty good. It's one of my favorite sports movies to watch. I prefer the sports movie for kids, as they're more inspirational and less boring. Like, Miracle's a great movie, but it's also boring and a realistic telling of what happened. It's a great movie, but it has less rewatch value for me because it's just, I don't know, it's seen from the lens of an adult, where this is seen from the lens of a kid. And on that point, I do want to point out that kids can sometimes be unreliable narrators. And this is shown from the lens of kids. Even when Roger's not around, JP is still there, so they can show you it's coming from a kid's point of view. But it's also mostly from Roger's point of view, because think about it. When Roger is not there, there are no angels. But Roger is there, and there are angels. It could be that Roger is giving the team hope. Or Roger is like somehow a good luck charm, and he just knows which one to pick, which ones to go with. I don't know. The way they explain, like, I felt weightless, like someone grabbed me and picked me up. I guess it could work, say an angel, but it also could be in a way that there were no angels and it was just luck. But it's probably leaning more to the side that there was angels, but So, what are your thoughts on Angels in the Outfield? Let me comment, let me share, like, share, and subscribe. Next, we are looking at another animated film from the golden age of Disney. Ooby-Doo. I want to be like you. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything to tease you with, but, you know. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.